Hey, hey, free spirit beaters. Kristen here with Soft Flex Company. Happy Monday. Today is August 12th, and we're coming up on my year anniversary of doing this beading series. It's pretty exciting. I started sometime in August last year. Not exactly sure which day, but a whole year, hi Jody, of showing up and seeing you guys here on Mondays to do some fun beading projects. Hope everyone is doing really well today. Hi Kathy, how's your doggy doing? I see you're here with us today, so that's nice. I've got an extra doggy in the house today. We're dog sitting my mother-in-law's little dachshund. So I've got 3 pooches running around. Really good, awesome. Yay, that's wonderful to hear. So I feel like, I don't know, I've always had 1 or 2 dogs, and so having a 3rd dog just is a lot. I feel like there's a menagerie of animals. Every time you get up and walk around, you've got a whole, like a Pied Piper situation, you've got a whole trail of animals following you. It's so funny how that 1 more dog makes a difference. So yeah, today's August 12th. We are doing 20% off on all jewelry making tools over at www.softflexcompany.com. Hi, Emily. And that is for today and tomorrow. It expires tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time. And then on Wednesday, we'll have a brand new sale for you guys. But if you're looking for some jewelry making tools, you want to stock up your toolbox or try something new, now is a great time to do that. So we've got the new Lazy Daisy tools that make those Viking knit designs that we've been talking about. Got 2 sizes of those, along with the draw plate that you need to condense the craft wire. And we've got Kumi Himo boards, we've got knitting tools, and then like knitting spools, and anything you need. We've got beading awls, so you can do knotting, awl, A-W-L, and all the pliers you need, chain nose, flat nose, needle nose, bent nose, cutters. We have a couple of different types of cutters online for the beginning designer all the way up to the professional. Soft Flex Pro tools, we carry them in our cutters. I show the cutters a lot. I use my cutters every time practically we do a video, but we also do the Pro tools in pliers. We do them in needle nose pliers and round nose, chain nose, and I think flat nose too. So all of those have the beautiful cushioned ergonomic handles, and just a really nice feel if you're looking to upgrade any of your tools to a little more of a professional tool line. It's also a great time if you like to teach and you like to have a couple of extra tools on hand. You just, pick up a couple of extra crimpers or anything like that. So today we'll be using our cutters. I always use my cutters, and we're going to be using the magical crimping pliers to create a beaded chain with Soft Flex wire and little SuperDuo beads. I started this demonstration over on the Soft Flex Company Facebook page a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to kind of just flesh out an actual design idea, show you the technique again here on YouTube, and then flesh out a design idea with you guys. Is that new? What did I miss? Is what new? I don't know. Is it new that we have the professional tools? Is that what you're asking? Because it's not new, and we don't talk about them as much. Yeah, it's not. We've had all of the pliers in the professional tool line for quite some time. You guys just usually see the cutters being used the most because I end up using like for the round nose pliers and chain nose pliers, I usually end up using these simple ones. These are like $8, I think, normally online. But they have the harder handle. They're also a little smaller. So, you know, they're good for some people with smaller hands, but I actually love the feeling of our Pro Tools because I like having a longer tool. That said, we do make the Pro Tools in 2 sizes. We do actually have, this is considered the long handle size, and then we also have a short handle size, which is probably closer to something like this. But it has the thick ergonomic cushioning that these have. But yeah, I happened to mention them today because I said, oh, you know what? I wonder if people even know we have those because we don't end up mentioning all that much. It's kind of funny how you end up using a lot of the same things. You forget to mention that we've got other stuff, other stuff online. So go to softflexcompany.com, click on the tools and supplies section. When you go to shop, you go to tools and supplies, and it's everything within that category. So anything in that category is currently 20% off. And I think we may even have a tool or two in the closeout section. And if there is something over there, you would get 30% off closeout plus an extra 20% off during the tool sale. No coupons needed. They're just, those are the prices based on the retail price. So if you have a retail price order, you'll automatically get those discounts. And then if your order is over $50 and you're in the United States, you will get the option for free shipping at checkout. If you are not in the United States, if you're actually an international customer, go ahead and sign up for an account on our website. If you have never done that before, sign up for an account and then email us at info@softflexcompany.com. Let us know, and we do have some international discount structure in place to help with your shipping costs. So, but you do need to set up your account and you do need to let us know so that we can go ahead and make those adjustments on your customer account. I've just been sharing that a little more often on these videos because you never know who's watching, and I know that a lot of international customers worry about the shipping and handling fees when they're buying products, and so I do want to let you guys know we have a little program in place to help you out a little bit there. Couple of new items are the Tucson Sunset Bead Mix. We designed with that last week. We have a limited supply of those online. And then we've also got the Unicorn Sparkles design kit. That's about 65% sold out as of today. And that is our mystery design kit for August. We have a mystery guest designer on August 28th, and we're really excited about that one. Really, really pretty kit. You guys are gonna love it. Very elegant and sparkly, like its name, Unicorn Sparkles. And lastly, we've got well, we've been loading these up for a little while, but we have a bunch of different colors of these textured jump rings in the outlet section of our website, and that's what I'm going to be using today. I'm using the gold color, and we have some also in antique copper and like a bright copper. I think we sold out of all of the silver color right now. So I just wanted to mention that. You'll find these in our outlet shop. And we're going to be using the gold ones today. All right, so I'm not as like, other than the technique for the chain that we're gonna be making, I don't know exactly what we're gonna make as a focal point for the necklace, so I'm hoping you guys can help me out with that. I grabbed a bunch of stuff that I thought went along with the color scheme, but I didn't actually decide on what to do. So my desk looks a little wild right now. So hopefully you guys can help me out with that. Sometimes I know exactly what's going on, and today is not one of those days. So I know the technique we're gonna do, but I don't know how the necklace is all gonna come together. And I'm hoping you guys can join in on the fun to help me out with that. So I'm gonna go ahead now and switch you guys down to my beading table and see where this leads us. Okay. See, like I said, sometimes I'm really organized when I get started. Today, I feel like I got stuff all over the place. So we are gonna be working with this beautiful color of Soft Flex Beading Wire. It is called Dark Blue Lapis. And here's a little 10-foot spool of it. It is, so you can get a feel, that's what it looks like on the spool. Soft Flex medium, 0.019 diameter. If you're not familiar with Soft Flex, we make a super high quality beading wire. It's a flexible beading wire. It has a stainless steel core. There's 49, it does match my nails, like it has 49 strands and then nylon coated. So 49 strands micro braided, nylon coated. The color is put into the wire. Look at it, it's almost perfect. It's almost, I love this color. This is one of my favorite Soft Flex colors. I've used it quite a lot in my own personal jewelry stuff. And so we're gonna be using that. We're gonna use these little SuperDuo beads. So if you purchased one of our Shades of Coral design kits, you would have gotten a little package of these beads, this color in it. What these are little 2-hole beads. Let's see if we can, they're kind of transparent, so it's a little hard to see. Oh, there we go. See, they have like 2 little holes there, and they're a really pretty champagne-y color. You can find a whole lot of these beads over at our friends at fusionbeads.com. They sell all different colors. I don't know what the name of this color is, but I would think it'd be something like a transparent champagne or golden color. So that's what we're gonna use to make our chain. We're gonna be using the textured jump rings, the SuperDuo beads, Soft Flex beading wire, and then to bring it all together, we would be using crimp tubes. And we're gonna make a chain like this. So the wire is gonna go through the jump rings, in through the crimp, and then the 2-hole SuperDuo bead, just like that. Okay, so that's the parts I know about what we're gonna be doing today. What I don't know is what is going to be our focal for the necklace. And if we want to add in some other beads with the chain too, that could be an option. So for example, if I just sort of laid this out as a possibility of the necklace, let's see what I've got here. I have this big golden shadow Swarovski crystal in this fun triangle shape. And I know that some of you got something like this a while back during the Sarah's anniversary gift. You got things like this, and I thought it would be fun to show you how to kind of make that a focal. So that's one option. I also have those golden shadow colors, which I think match the SuperDuo beads so well, in a few different shapes. So some smaller and larger crystal bead shapes here too. So if we thought the triangle was too much, but maybe we like doing something, you know, like a little dangle like that, or even using these beads in the chain, we could add them in the chain design. What else do I got? I've got these flat dark blue, which I thought matched the wire really well. These are flat dark blue beads. They're like check glass beads that you can find in our Wanderlust bead mix. We could even do something where we make like a drop design. I think I like the bigger one better. Like that. And these I thought could be pretty fun connected on the chain itself somewhere too, to kind of tie that in. I'm liking where that's going. It's very fancy looking. Fancy schmancy with all those crystals. And then this was an idea I was playing with before the video started. I was gonna use the dark blue wire instead. I was just sort of playing with an idea. These two pieces come in the Night Blooming bead mix that we have online, and I wanted to kind of weave them together to make, because these are two separate like little dangles, and I thought if I wove them together, they could make kind of an interesting focal. And instead of that green wire, use the dark blue wire in there. And then again, we could even add a drop below that. Or we could leave it on its own. So out of those ideas, what do you guys feel excited about trying? Do we want to work with the crystally beads? Do we want to work with the triangle, or doing more of a drop like that? Or do we want to work with these, weave these together with some wire and make this an interesting focal, maybe even with a little drop below it? I even have a tassel that could be cute to add below. I know we're on a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait a few minutes to see what you guys are thinking. I like the crystal with the check drop, so like this kind of idea over here. So we got one vote for the crystal with the check drop from Emily. Anybody else want to chime in? I like the two wired together pieces with the dark and the crystal drop. Soft Flex says, I like that too. Which one are you talking about, Soft Flex? Idea 1 or idea 2? Jody says, I like the crystals also. Kathy says, wired. Okay, so I think we decided not to go with the triangle crystal, so I'm gonna get rid of that guy. Idea 2, okay. So we've got 2 for the wired, and we've got 2 for the crystal with the check. Who's gonna be our tiebreaker? Who's gonna be our tiebreaker? One more vote we need, guys. All right, well, we got another wired. We got another wired with the blue and the larger gold crystal. Okay, so you want to try the wired and then add both of these guys on here? Kind of include that in the drop? We could do that, a combination. Yeah, we are definitely changing the wire in the focal. I just was playing around with how it would work when I did this one. But I'm gonna use the same dark blue wire instead of the green. The blue first and then the crystal. So you want it to be like that. Fun, and then I think it would be fun to add 2 blue ones in the chain, and maybe even, I do have this crystal too that's a little bit smaller, but it might be too close in size. And then I also have this one, which would be like a little itty bitty, well, not really little itty bitty, but it would be yeah, I like the smaller crystal. I agree. I think the smaller crystal feels really pretty. And then we can use a couple of these smaller crystals in the chain as well as these blue ones. Okay. All right, now we have a plan. Now we have a plan. So I think what I'll do first is I will redo what was going on here, and then we'll go up the sides. Let's see if I can remember how I did this. I'm excited you guys went with this little wired piece because I thought it was pretty interesting. Something different to try. How was everybody's weekend? We went back to school last week. I think I shared with you guys last Monday. My kids started school on Tuesday. So it's been a good trend. It's been an interesting transition week for us. A lot quieter around my house and nice to have a little time without my house full of people. But we're also back to a lot of scheduling, like I have to make lunches and have to think about easy breakfast again, and even dinner. We haven't started with sports and clubs and all that stuff yet, so it's amazing how your schedule gets filled up real fast when kids are in school. So that said, we had a really nice weekend. We had a busy week. I don't know that I left the house on Sunday at all, but I got to do a lot of creating. So it was my perfect Sunday. I was thinking about it too, like as someone who creates and is always doing creative projects, I'm such a homebody. How are you guys? Because there's always something in my house that I can be doing and that I love to do. Whether it be painting or beading or crafting or any of those things, I love a day at home to get to play. All right, so these are how they come in the kit, in the bead mix. These are in the Night Blooming bead mix over at softflexcompany.com. I think we have a handful of them left, maybe like 10 or so. Might be a little less than 10, but I'm actually gonna cut wire from the spool. I wanna make sure I have a decent length of wire to play with. So I'm gonna cut about 30 inches, which I'm sure is way more than I need. But since I'm gonna be weaving in and out, I don't wanna run out of it. So I'm gonna stick with that. Okay. The way I started this was I went through these two bottom holes first. And I'm just gonna center my wire in those two bottom holes. And ideally what I wanna do is I want these to kinda fan out. Remind me of like a butterfly wing, so fan out like a butterfly. And then I have the two spots right here to connect to the chain. And I went through the top and the wire's coming out the bottom, the back of it right now. So now I'm thinking about, I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna feed crisscross into the one next to it, like above and cross. I'm kind of thinking about tying a shoe. Like, you know, when you do the crisscross and you tie your shoes. Like that. So now the wire came back through the front. And I'm gonna crisscross again. I'm gonna take the wire on the left side into the hole on the right side. And I'm gonna take the wire on the right side down into the hole on the left side. So I'm creating a crisscross pattern like tying a shoelace. Which reminds me of one of my first jobs when I moved out here to Arizona and I was still in college. I worked at a shoe store. So now we came out the front and we're crisscrossing back. And now here's where I can kind of play with it a little bit. And this is pretty sturdy at this point, which is nice. It's definitely holding its shape well. Now I'm just gonna go weave in and out through one side. And I'm sure there's probably a few different patterns you can come up with doing this. This is just what kind of came to mind first, is to like weave in and out. I wonder what it would look like to crisscross again. Or if I'm gonna run out of wire. So are you guys homebodies like I am? Do you just really love when you get a chance to stay home and play with all of your art making and craft making toys that you have in your space? All of your beading supplies. I mean, that is just the best. Or do you have friends that you like to bead with? I know, I totally thought, Lisa, that it looks like a butterfly wing. My mind just wasn't understanding what to do with it. But maybe I'll give it another try another day with the idea of putting some butterfly wing beads in there, like little seed beads or something. Jody, yes, I love being at home. Yes, I love crafting in my jammies all day, making jewelry. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now that I've gotten sort of a little weaving pattern going on here, I'm gonna take this wire down through this first loop that I created. And so my idea is that I'll have a wire on each side coming down through the first loop, and that's where we can add some extra focal beads. Lisa is making a rosary while she's watching. Wonderful. I've only made one rosary in my life. It was really a beautiful process. There's a lot of work that goes into rosary making. And like I said, I'm just picking like a little bit of a haphazard plan of just going in and out of these little circles, these little holes here. Maybe with seed beads, that would be a lot of fun to make something that looked like a wing. I love that idea. Okay, and then I want to come back. I actually want that one to come out from the bottom, so let me switch this. Yeah. So my goal was to get the wire coming out from the bottom to the top and then go down that first little loop I made in the beginning. And now we've got a new connection for our, and you know what, I have a little bit, I have a couple of these little gold spacer beads next to me. I think I'm gonna see how that looks, adding one of those before I add a bead. Hey, Jerry, shh. Jerry is the dog that I am dog sitting for. He barks at my other dogs. He's so lucky. My dogs are super sweet. So there's a little spacer bead I added. And now I'm gonna string on one of these flat blue beads from the Wonderlust bead mix. Oh, it got your dog barking too, Lisa. Sorry about that. I know, I say he's so lucky. My dogs do not bark back at him. My dogs are not barkers. We kind of, so they just kind of look at him like, what's your deal? What's your problem? All right, so what do you guys think? Is this being the focal? I'll put a little crimp tube down here at the bottom, and then we'll attach our chain. It does look like a mermaid's tail. Oh, I love that. Hey, shh, quiet, Jerry, quiet. Oh, the garbage man's here. It's like a whole thing. Hey, shh. I totally didn't see a mermaid's tail until you said that, and I love it. The joys of live TV. It's so true. You have to be able to just roll with what's happening, right? All right, so yeah, so I'm just gonna add my crimp tube at the bottom here. And as you see, I have a lot of wire left over. So yeah, I was worried I was going to run out, and I have like a ton left over. I have about at least 12 inches. So you can cut a lot less, like maybe 18 inches to do the weaving. All right, so I'm gonna use my magical crimping pliers. Our magical crimping pliers have a little notch on each side, and they are gonna turn my crimp tube, my 2x2 millimeter crimp tube, into a nice little bead. And it only works with the 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter crimp tubes, which is the most common size, especially if you're using our medium 0.019 diameter. So once I've got that crimp in place, it's centered right in the center of my crimping pliers. And I'm gonna push down, squeeze, give it a good squeeze, and it's gonna pinch 4 corners. And then I'm gonna turn it and hopefully be able to get in there again. When you're working so close to beads like this, the first pass doesn't actually like crimp it, I guess, so your crimp can move around a little bit still. So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to pull it a little closer to me to get this to finish off in this position. Come on, Crimpy. All right, I got it. So now I've got this guy crimped down at the bottom. I'll show you guys a better crimping demonstration when I do the chain, because when you're working like right at the bottom of a bead, sometimes you really have to like get in there and hold it still. And I had to kind of bring it really close to me. I'm just gonna trim off. Ooh, actually, do I wanna leave any wire? I don't know. Let me trim off down here and think about it. I may cut those pieces off, but for a moment, I'm just gonna kind of think about it. All right. So that's the back. This is the front. And now I have those little extra pieces to play with. Okay, so I think I'm gonna attach it like that. I'm gonna add my wire into one of these sides here. And then I'm gonna string on a crimp tube. I'm gonna go back up through the crimp tube to create a loop. And then I'm gonna grab a hold of this jump ring, just like that, and take the other end of my wire back down through the crimp tube. And pull my wire tails. I want to make my loops similar in size to what I've been doing so that they have a continuity in the chain. And you just kind of play with your wire tails until you're happy with the loop on either end. And now I'm going to crimp that. So I'm going to place my crimp dead center of my crimping pliers. That little notch, you should feel it kind of sit in there. Give it a good squeeze and it'll pinch my corners. Turn it 90 degrees and put it back inside there. Squeeze it again. And so this tool turns my crimp tube into a little bead. Now, if you didn't want to work with this tool, you could use a regular crimping plier and just leave it as a tube. Or you can do a regular crimping plier and then do a crimp cover on top. Now I'm just going to cut away, and you got to make sure that you don't cut your loops and that you just cut away the excess wire. So I've got that side connected, and so a pattern I've got going on here is jump ring, SuperDuo bead, jump ring, SuperDuo bead, and I think we'll add this guy in here, and maybe even that with it or that on its own. That's an interesting thought. Do I want to just use the blue, or do I want to make a blue and crystal? Let's move this up so we see the entire thing. Do the yellow on top and bottom of the blue. All right, so just like that, I think that that makes for a nice connection there. I'm hoping this isn't too far up. I'm almost thinking about cutting this one loose and moving this down. I feel like that makes more sense where it's going to lay on your neck, so that we just have, and then we can always go back up with more chain. I think I like that. So I'm going to cut this one loose. So I've got jump ring, SuperDuo bead, jump ring. Simone, I'm using these two pieces, come from the Night Blooming Garden, and then these flat check glass beads. These come in the Wanderlust kit. Just to give you guys an example, just to show you what they are. Let me get the full the full set here. So this is the Wanderlust kit, the bead mix. I keep saying kit, but bead mix. And you'll see it has those flat blue beads inside there. And I didn't use these, but you could actually use these in place of those Swarovski crystals. I didn't think of that, but now that I'm looking at it here, you actually could use these in place of the crystals too. So that's where the flat blue beads come from. And then the night blooming mix looks like this one. This one's got a lot of fun stuff going on in it. And this is where you'll find those little connector pieces. I hope that makes it a little clearer. All right, so where we were here, let me grab a piece of wire, slide it in there, and then let me think about how I wanna. Hi, Lydia. Thanks for joining. You're welcome, Simone. Thank you for asking. Sometimes, you know, you kind of get going on something and you don't realize if you didn't explain all the materials properly. I'm just thinking here, I'm gonna add a crimp bead on this side. Do I want one on either for symmetry or no? Am I okay with it? And then I also have a couple of these spacers left. I feel like the spacer is nice in there. It adds to it. I'm gonna add a crimp tube first. Yeah, the spacer splits it up a little bit more. I agree. So I'm gonna put my wires together, add a little crimp tube. I just think visually, because there's not a whole lot happening, that I'm gonna like having the crimp tube on both ends. So I'm just gonna crimp here. And then I'll add a crystal bead. And the spacer. The blue bead. part of me wants to stop there. But let's keep going and see if we just do the whole. I'm feeling a little bit like it's getting too big in this little component part here. I wonder if I have any smaller. Oh, I know what I can do. I can do the SuperDuo beads too. All right, what is your thought? Does it look okay, or does it feel like it's pulling away too much from the focal? It's the only time we're gonna have it though. It's the only spot. The rest of it's just gonna be the jump rings. Looks good? Okay. All right, so we did a crimp bead, crimp tube there, the crystal, spacer, the blue spacer, and a crystal again. Now I'm gonna place another crimp tube right there and connect it to a jump ring. So I'm just gonna put the jump ring on one of the wires, and that is the wire I'm gonna feed back into the crimp tube to create that link. Jody is loving it. Yay! Guys, yesterday I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do on this video, and it was just one of those nights where I wasn't sure, so I just pulled out all of the supplies I thought could go together, and I was like, I'll let you guys help me. That is one of the nice things about being live, is I get to talk the design through with you. Collective designing. All right, so here is where we're at. So we've got our focal, we've got the start of this side of the chain, and then we've got this connector here, and now we're gonna add on to finish this off. Let me see how long this is. Lisa says, looks great. We'll give the main piece a focus point plus higher up on the neck a focus point. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I wasn't sure if it was getting to be a little too much, but I think it looks good. The symmetry works in this design. All right, so right now we've got almost 6 inches. And I'm thinking this would be pretty at, like, you know, an 18-inch necklace, somewhere around there. So I'm gonna go up another couple of inches here. So now we'll get to the chain making part. So we've got the little jump ring at the end. And let me grab out a SuperDuo. If you missed the beginning, the SuperDuos are these little 2-hole, I guess they're considered seed beads, right? Are they considered seed beads? I think so. Little 2-hole bead. We don't sell these at Soft Flex, but they do sell them over at our friends at fusionbeads.com. If you had gotten our Shades of Coral design kit, which was our June, I think it was our June design kit, it would have had some of those in there, this particular color. All right, so I'm taking my Soft Flex wire, feeding it through the jump ring, and then I'm gonna place the crimp tube on both wires, like that. Pull that down. Making my loop connection, and then I'm gonna pick up a SuperDuo and I'm gonna place the wire through one of the holes. You see it's on just one of them. And then I'm gonna take this tail back through my crimp. Check out my loop sizes. And then when I'm ready, go ahead and crimp. Crimp once, turn it on its side, crimp again, and then kind of pump and crimp. Do a little bit like it's rolling around and helping to form that shape. And then you can trim off. Your extra wire. All right, so I'm just gonna show you guys my wire right now is going through this loop, which means it's gonna be harder for me to get my cutter in there to cut it nice and tightly. So I'm just gonna take that wire tail, feed it out of that loop, and now you'll see I can get to the end of it much easier, and I can get my cutter all the way nestled next to the crimp. Cut that off. And now we will feed the wire through the other hole of the SuperDuo, making that connection. You do use a good amount of crimps in this technique. I always joke that if you have a hard time with crimping or you're new to crimping, a project like this should get you to be a pro by the end of it. And then my pattern is just to add a jump ring again after the SuperDuo. And I just put the jump ring on one of the wires, and that is the wire that gets fed back through the crimp tube. Again, if that caught that tail, I'm just gonna pull that out of there so that I can get a nicer connection. Lydia says, I try to buy a pack of crimps every time I place an order to stock up for those projects. That is a great idea. It is a good way to just say, you know what? Every time, just throw a little bag of crimps onto your order, and then you know you have them there when you need them. We even have a little multi-crimp pack now so that you can get all the colors together. They're all 2x2 millimeters, so they're perfect with the magical crimping pliers. And you can add that to your order, and you know you've got all the colors no matter what you're working on. So to give you an idea of where we're at here, it's like 1, 2. I'm gonna take a measurement again with my handy dandy little measuring tool. Now we're at 7. So I think we'll do another round of that pattern, and then we can add our clasp. Go through 1/2 of the SuperDuo and bring that back. I have one of those measuring tapes from Fusion Beads. Yeah, that's where mine's from too, Lydia. Very handy. I use it all the time. And I like that it's like a bright pink color because I can easily find it when I'm looking for it, as long as nobody's taken it. And by nobody, I need my children. Okay. Lydia says, I knew you meant your boys. They never put anything back. No, they don't. They can never see anything that's right in front of them, and they can't put anything back. Okay, now I'll go through the other hole for the SuperDuo. I should mention that the jump rings I'm using are the textured jump rings that are on the outlet, but they are closed. And so that is something to think about, is it's nice to work with. So here's one here. They are, yeah, they are soldered closed, so you don't have to worry about the wire slipping out of them. I have done this with open jump rings, you know, regular jump rings, and it does work, but you do have to be a little more thoughtful about going through, making sure all your jump rings are nice and tightly closed so that your beading wire is less likely to slide out of it. So for this kind of a project, I would suggest using closed jump rings, so you don't have to worry about that. I think at this point I can add my clasp. I'm gonna trim off the wire here. And also when you're working, you hold on to these little wires. Some are a little too short, but some of them you can get a whole nother pass through, another link. Okay. I'm just going to use a nice lobster claw clasp. I'm going to take that short wire that I had left over. And I'm just stringing, I strung the clasp on the wire, and I strung the wire also through that jump ring, that last jump ring. Kamal says, nice paintings in the background. Thank you. Painting is one of my passions. I'm actually thinking I might do this as a jump ring connection. So a soft flex jump ring. Instead of going through it like a teardrop, I'm gonna take the wire on the other side and come back down. I think that makes more sense here. And just make a little soft flex jump ring. Yeah, Kamal, so my, yeah, painting is one of my passion hobbies for sure. I love to paint. I got to paint this weekend a lot yesterday, and I even teach locally painting classes. I haven't in a little while, but I kind of do that when I have time. I've taught some workshops. And I have my own little Facebook group that is called Discover Your Creative Magic that I just kind of started a creativity circle on there. We're in week 2 of going through kind of like a creative recovery in a way for people that are blocked creatively, or maybe they're stuck and they just need a little guidance. And I'm all about creativity as like a spiritual therapeutic healing practice, and that is where what my painting kind of is for me, as well as beading. Painting is your first love and jewelry next. Yeah. Or are you talking about for me? But but I feel the same. Painting is something that is just a real love of mine. I've done it throughout my entire life in some way, shape, or form. And then I fell into jewelry making because I worked for a bead store, in a local bead store, and that's how I met Sarah. And then working there is I came over here to Soft Flex a long time ago, and now I've been working with them. So I sort of fell into jewelry, and now it's just another one of my beautiful hobbies I get to do. So I'm gonna finish the other side of this chain, I think, off camera, so you guys don't have to sit and watch me do all of those connections again. And I will share the finished jewelry piece in our VIB, Soft Flex VIB Facebook group, as well as on our blog. We do a Friday blog roundup where we always show the finished designs, and so you guys can see it there too. But this has been so fun. It totally turned out differently than I expected when I got started here, and I love it. I think it's really, let's see if I can go like that so you can see the whole piece a little more easily. this little chain technique is really a lot of fun. Sarah's the first one I saw do something like this, and I just absolutely love it. Sarah actually did a project in our book we wrote together called Seed Bead Revolution, where she uses this technique for a necklace and earring design. So that is where my inspiration comes from. And we no longer sell it at softflexcompany.com, but if you are interested in the book, you could find it over on Amazon. It's called Seed Bead Revolution. And I am gonna flip you guys up here so I can say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed what we created together today. And thanks, Soft Flex Company just shared our book, Seed Bead Revolution, over on Amazon. So yeah, if you're interested, you can take a look. What that book focuses on is using seed beads, and especially unique shaped seed beads like the SuperDuos we use today, or like the tri beads and ruler beads, all these different fun shapes that they came out with a year or two ago, in different stringing techniques and quick projects, not bead weaving projects. So that was the goal of that book, is to show you guys some quick, fun ways to use these wonderful little seed bead shapes. So I hope you'll give it a try. And if you've got SuperDuos in your little shades of coral bead mix that you haven't played with yet, this would be an awesome project to pull those out and give a go and see what you can come up with. I think the color lends itself with those SuperDuos for lots of different beading wire colors. I used the Dark Blue Lapis today, but you could use almost any color, I think, in your stash to create a different look on the chain, or even alternate colors if you wanted to have 2 or 3 different colors that you play with and alternate on the chain. That would be a lot of fun too. So yeah, so a couple of things coming up this week. We have a live bead sale from Mike Sherman's private collection tomorrow, and that is over on the Soft Flex Company Facebook page. Go there at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and that's when the live sale will start. There's always lots of really interesting beads and unique stuff to check out. A lot of things are, it's a mix of one-of-a-kind stuff or very limited supply with maybe some other things that we've got a larger supply of, and Mike's collection always has some neat stuff to check out. Oh, not tomorrow. I'm sorry. It is Wednesday. Thanks, Lydia. Wednesday, August 14th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, over on the Soft Flex Company Facebook page is where you'll see that sale. I don't know, I looked at my sheet and for some reason I was thinking tomorrow. No, Wednesday. Today's Monday. And then I'll be back here again next Monday for another episode of Free Spirit Beading at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We have tools on sale. All the jewelry making tools are on sale today and tomorrow. The sale ends tomorrow at midnight. No coupon needed, just 20% off any retail order. You just go to our shop, softflexcompany.com, and click on the tools and supplies section, and it's everything in there. Lydia says my brain and mouth don't always cooperate either. It's true. I was like, I'm looking right at it, but it came out totally different. Occasionally we make some changes, but we try and keep our schedule pretty stable for that reason, so you guys know when to find us and know when things are going on. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, the Soft Flex VIB Studio, please come over and check it out. It's a great group of beaders and jewelry makers, really inspiring work that's being shared, and in that group, it's a lot of fun. If you bought the Tucson Sunset Design Kit, you have until August 20th to share your design that you created with it to be entered into our giveaway to win a future kit. And if you did not get the Tucson Sunset Kit and you want to get in on our design challenges, then go ahead and pick up a Unicorn Sparkles kit. We've got about 65% sold out right now, and that is going to be revealed, and the mystery challenge will be at the end of this month on August 28th. If you liked today's tutorial, just give us a little thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. It makes it so that we're able to continue to show up on a regular basis here, offer you quality jewelry making content, and it's good to know what you guys are enjoying. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments after this video ends, and I always come back throughout the week and check out if there's any questions or stuff going on down there. So feel free to leave your questions in the comments. And I will see you guys next Monday. Have a wonderful week, and be sure to check out our bead sale on Wednesday. The sale starts on Wednesday. It's open throughout the weekend, so you can take a look at any time. But like I said, a lot of stuff is limited, so the closer you can get to checking it out live, the better you have the odds of grabbing some stuff that you want to grab. It's all first come, first serve in the comments for selling. Okay, I need to go get something to eat. I think that's why my brain's getting a little funny. So Lydia says Mike's stuff is great. Yeah, you never know. I never know. You never know what you're gonna find in a Mike sale, because it's not usually any of our regular Soft Flex products. There's always some stuff that's kind of out of the box and artisan made, or just a nice mix. So I'll look forward to it as much as you guys do on Wednesday, and then I'll see you guys here again on Monday. Have a great week.